Hello, everybody. It's Marcia Regan here, and I'm delighted to be coming to you today with the wonderful Jo Blake, who I've been working with. And I just wanted to um, really have this conversation to inspire you and encourage you, because I think really with all that's going on in the world, we need to know actually that what is possible. And I have been saying for a long time now that we're in times where the impossible is possible, and whereby we really are being called to really live to the heartbeat of our soul, live to the rhythm of our own unique energy, our own divine right and divine truth, to really live our own unique version of what we want to be living, and to have the courage to get out of our own way and go, I'm going for this. So Jo, do you want to say anything? Do you want to say hello, maybe introduce yourself about where you are from, and what inspired you to kind of say, I'm going to take some time to do some inner work to see where it's going to take me.
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Jo, and I came across Marcia actually. I remember watching an online workshop that you were delivering, and I just knew that I was going to work with you. And what I really loved was the whole around the colour. And here we are with a nice bright top on today. I'm sure I just wore black the whole time before I worked with you, Marcia. But I'd sort of, for the last 6 years, I've kind of been on a bit of a personal development journey, having gone through sort of a quite awful marital breakup, my choice. But it was then that you start really just focusing back on yourself and thinking, right, okay, well, I've been the wife, I've been the mum, I've been doing this full-time job, and it's time maybe to really sort of focus back on myself. So when you were doing this online workshop, it just really inspired something within me, and just to sort of think that actually there's only so much you can do by yourself. You can read all the books, you can go down the rabbit warren and find out all this different information, but it's really that you need to have that guide, that coach, that support that really is going to, and work on a one-to-one basis. I think that was really important for me as well. I've done lots of other group things before, but to really sort of help me in the more spiritual journey, because I'd worked with traditional coaches. I'd worked with somebody that was a hypnotherapist and an NLP coach, and this was just something that I knew was going to be so different, so unique. And yeah, absolutely brilliant. I think it was April that I first.
That's right, it was.
Found you. Yeah.
And I think we started in May, because again, when we tuned in, with timing, because when we had a breakthrough call first, but and that's why I have those calls, to make sure we're a fit, but also I do believe in divine timing. So it's like we were like, no, May, it feels like let's start in May. And it really was divine timing, wasn't it? It's like everything just kind of clicked into place. And so what was your experience in our work together? Like what did you get from the work and the process? Because this is a process that's unique to each individual. What did you, what was your experience?
So I think in terms of the experience, well, it was just, it was one of those where I suppose I didn't know what was going to, that was the beauty of it. Sort of, I didn't sort of come in with a specific sort of question, but just sort of through our, initial talk in each session, it was like, right, okay, and then maybe this is something that we need to look at. And what was really wonderful actually was the different modalities and the different things that you looked at. So, from the soul colour and the readings, but also sort of the guided visualizations and meditations, and there was also even some flower essences that you recommended. So it was the fact that you were bringing all this together that was this overall sort of, real holistic path that we went down, really. And in terms of what I got from it, I think the biggest thing is really the shifts, the internal shifts. So it was as if you were clearing so much out, so much of the old stuck energy, and really helping me to get clarity and see things in a different way. And it's sometimes I was thinking before we came on this call this morning, I was thinking, what do I actually say in terms of how I've changed? Because I know I've changed so much, because I feel that I really understand who I am now. And it wasn't a case of let's try and fix, because I was looking, my primary thing was because I was leaving a job and I wanted to step into my purpose. And it wasn't that I can say, look at what I'm doing now. It was the fact that actually, as a person, I'm just feel so different in terms of the belief, the confidence, as I say, there is clarity. There's still areas that I'm working on, but just that whole experience and that process where you just held me there to be able to me to work through different things in a really, really supportive way. So yeah, the whole experience and what I got from it was, it's difficult to articulate and put in words, but all I can say is that because of that real 360 approach that you have, that's really something quite unique.
Yeah, and 360 for you as the individual. So that is the thing, is that when a lot of people out there, and I think that probably gets the work that I do to stand out, is they talk about this 7-step process, 6-step, and I'm like, I don't know. I know there's a process, but the process is different for everybody. And so that's why I admire anybody to work with me, because you start by stepping into the unknown, because I can't tell you what's going to happen until actually we're in the container together, you and I, one-on-one, and we are in the sessions together, because I'm only shown, because what happens is I see through my third eye. The soul says to me, this is the soul. And all of this is keeping her from seeing the soul that she is, but also living from that place. So it's kind of like, okay, so it was, every session was like, what's going to come up today? What kind of juicy stuff is going to come up today? So that's why I honor you for actually stepping into the unknown, because you did step into the unknown working with in this container, and you showed up for it, because what you did as well is that you took action, because what came up, we did the healings, we cleared the blocks, but then you were really not allowed to do and be in situations that you were in that were not congruent to what your soul wanted for you. And that, I feel, is where you have the courage. Then you were the one that actually physically had to make the changes. And so now that we're at the end of our walk now, where are you now? How has your life changed from the time that we worked together to now?
Yeah, so at the time when we first started, I'd made a decision last September that I was going to stay in the job that I had for another 12 months, and then that was it. So I think it was beginning, because it was getting closer to the time that actually I've made this decision, I'm going to step out of this job, that it was just perfect timing to work with you, because I kind of was in a position where I was thinking, well, what am I going to do? I've got this busy job. I'd already tried to sort of fit other things in, and it had just led me to burnout. And I realise now, of course, the things that I was trying to put in just weren't for me.
Yeah.
So now I actually did leave my job 2 weeks ago. I gave 2 months notice earlier than I thought I was going to do. And and just at that space where I've created this space that I can have to think, well, actually, let's just see what's going to come. So I don't have to kind of feel like I'm it's when you feel that you're in that desperation phase, thinking, what am I going to do? What am I supposed to be doing? What about the money? How am I going to earn money? All those kind of things. That it's just now I feel like whatever I'm meant to be doing, it'll be shown to me, because I'm stepping in and I'm enjoying and doing the things that I love.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the difference in terms of where we were, probably in that still an element of fear and, well, this is too big an unknown, because I've been in this job for a long number of years.
Yeah.
And now where I'm like, it's all okay.
Yeah. And then you also change relationships. You put your house on the market. You started really thinking about things that were kind of whispers, thinking, oh, maybe, I'd like that idea. But, because that's the thing about the whispers. It's just like the soul doesn't shout at you going, hey, soul whispers. It goes, it rubs you, it nudges you. And then you go, yeah. But then you get taken out into the busyness and like, oh yeah, I'll put that on the back burner and I'll do that later. I'm like, and in fact, in some of these changes that you made, you hadn't said it to me. It was like in our sessions, it would come. I was like, what's coming up here? There's something here that we have to deal with. You're like, oh yeah, that.
Yeah. It really did trigger some interesting things, didn't it? All throughout the sessions.
It did, yeah. And so then I think that is then I held you through it, because I think when you're making lots of personal changes in your life and professional changes, you need someone that says, I've got your back. I've got you. The divine has got you. And so it feels like that you were lifted out of your current reality and you were put into your soul's reality of how your soul wants to live.
Yeah. And
so
how my soul wants to live is
different.
Yeah, in ease. I think that's the biggest thing.
Ease, yeah.
That's the word I would use.
So now you're living from that feeling of ease, even though there's still certain unknowns of like, okay, what's next? But you're now in the phase of creating that space for yourself to now be available for what the divine wants to give you. And I think society and actually even people's reactions to say, are you leaving a job? A fine, pensionable job? Are you off your rocker? And these kind of times, but so it's just like, actually, you have to be true. It's just like, that's your truth. That's your projection of your belief system. My truth is that I'm creating the space because actually we need the space to be able to go sometimes to the next level, because you can't fit any more inside in a cluttered room, right? So it's just like, now you are creating the space, and the wonder, that sense of wonder is like, wouldn't it be nice? I wonder what, like this, and following the little nuggets, the little drops along the way of going to see, what gem, what kind of other bits of information are you gathering? So I think you're in the information gathering phase, to step into that next. Well, I think it's to step in actually to your mission, because the soul has a journey. So you have a purpose, but now it's like, okay, I have the purpose, but show me the mission. And that the mission is actually the final stage of the soul's journey, right? So the mission is you're stepping into the Atlantic Ocean, right? That's the big sea, right? That you're being called to swim in. So what would you say to people who are kind of in this phase in their lives where you were? So from what you've been through in our work together, what kind of wisdom would you like to share with anyone watching this?
Yeah, I think it's, as you said, Marcia, that you have got to be prepared and ready to put that work in. So, it wasn't that I handed it all to you and said, here, Marcia, help me, save me.
Yeah.
It's actually that it can be, it's a fabulous journey, but there are things that you're going to work through that perhaps might have been a little bit uncomfortable. might have challenged you a little bit. So it's really to think, I'm going to step into this, and I really am going to become fully immersed in the process to give yourself, that best opportunity. And of course, it's investing in yourself. It really is. So why would you just throw that opportunity away?
Yeah.
So I would say it's about. I think it's fair to say that we were really open and honest as well. I think that's the only way it's going to work as well.
Yeah.
So there's that one-to-one. It was all so well held. I put my trust and in terms of my confidence in you, in terms of the confidentiality, all those kind of things. And so I think that's the key thing.
I think I see these as a very intimate and honoring space to work one-on-one. And it's just like, this is a partnership. It's just like, I'm the facilitator for the expansion that you want, but you have to be in it with me. And it's like, and then the other thing I think for you, and particularly for women, is that then, some women can't let themselves receive that support, right? Because I'm connected. And that's why I actually don't, I would work maximum with 3 people in a one-on-one container at any given time, because I feel like that, I would, message you and say, oh, that, there's something, or say, oh, she needs a card, or even though we wouldn't. So we were actually communicating energetically, is what we were doing, also in that container. So it's like also about allowing yourself to receive, the bounty of what's possible when you're working in this kind of alchemical process, because that's what it is. It's an alchemical container, and of just vastness, of just like, I just feel there's that bounty, there is that magic. And I think that's what I probably want to connect to. That's a part of reconnecting with your own magic of who you are, and who you want to become. Wonderful, wonderful. So
we had lots of laughs as well, didn't we, though?
We did have lots of laughs. We have to have the laughs. We have to have the laughs. Oh yeah, no, great laugh. So it is a joyful, laughable journey.
There were some moments.
with a few moments that we go, and I'm like, great, I can get my hands dirty in this one. No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It was a pleasure to work with you too, because and I think that's true. It was the transparency. It was just like, you get what you see is what you get. It's just like, I could also, be direct. I could say a spade is a spade. And I think that's essential. Yeah. That's why, to be honest, I am very mindful about who I work for and work with, because I'm not for everybody. Like, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what my guides are coming through. I am the voice of the, of the soul guides. So I'm like, you have to, sometimes they can be quite blunt, right? So, and they also bring in that humor. Yeah, you need it. Yeah, everyone needs that kind of. But I think it's a truth. It's like I'm speaking. It's the information that's coming in. It's a divine truth. It's like, this isn't me operating from the ego. It's operating from this spirit, which is why I call in, golden light of the highest frequency. So now I know that I'm connected into that purity, because there are many other energies that you can be plugging into. But when I call in that, I feel safe. Then I know that you and I are safe in that container that we create together for whatever, for the next evolution of who you are and who you're becoming. So how can people kind of be inspired, see your journey now continue? Because the journey, this is kind of just the beginning, isn't it, for you? I feel like this is, we just opened you up. So how can people find you?
Absolutely. So the best thing really is to, on Instagram, I'm very active on there. sort of inspirational posts. And I qualified as a yoga teacher in August as well. That was something I was doing the last 12 months. So I'm looking, I love the idea of having workshops and things like that as well. So Instagram is the best way, which is Jomu World. Don't ask me what that means. I've no idea, but it just came to me. So it's JOMOU_world. So you can find me on Instagram there.
Beautiful. Excellent. I'm delighted. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing the experience, because it's also good for me to hear, but it's also good for others to hear, because I can't describe what it's like, because it's a personal journey, and I feel that really it's a great way to show what's possible when you give yourself the opportunity to actually do the journey. So, my darlings, I hope that's inspired you. If you would like to explore, and you are ready for that kind of transformation, your own version of that for your life and for yourself, then if you go to www.glowyourtruecolors.com, and there's a Let's Chat tab, and then you can book in a breakthrough call, and we can have, discover where you're at, where you want to go, and if we are a vibrational fit for us to work together, and for you to step into the next evolution of your soul. Thank you, everyone. Mwah. Take care. Bye.